Hello everyone, today we're going to show you how to create a rent versus own purchase power report. And this is what it looks like. So if you have a client or a potential borrower who is a first-time home buyer, you can create this presentation not only specifically to the client, but you can also create this as a marketing report as well that you can potentially use to capture new business such as realtor business. You can main your headline, which will mean it'll exclude the client's information, and at that point you can email it out to them and let them know why they should be working with you, because we present these type of presentations to our clients to make sure they understand the potential offers that they're able to get into. With this client specifically, what you can also do is show them what their offers would look like should they have questions on payments, and to see if it fits within their budget moving forward. So what it does is it breaks down their net monthly savings compared to their rent, excluding any tax benefit and any principal earned over time. Also shows them how much of a tax benefit that they're now going to earn being a homeowner versus throwing their money away, as you can see with this rent option in the negative. Because exactly what they're doing is they're not building principal. They're really throwing this money away. They're not building an asset. The bottom right hand side, you can also select and show them what you'd like, but I chose the option to select total net worth. So now they can see over the next 15 years, this is potentially their offers. If you select the more info section, it just provides a lot more content, such as real estate value, depending on the appreciation of each of the state or county that they're currently in. Also, total equity that they would build over time, depending on the options that they went with. So this report will really play a huge factor in helping a client make a more decisive decision moving forward. Now let's show you how to create this presentation. Now, as you're creating a new client, you're going to want to make sure that you go to home. Once you go to home, you're really going to look for a new client. At that point, you're going to identify the client. Okay. You can capture as much information as possible or as need be. For now, we're going to go ahead and bypass the phone number. I'm going to assume that this client is a prospect, and I'm going to, in this case, select instead of owning, they currently rent. Friendly name helps me identify the presentation, the report, so I'm going to name it Rent with Offers. And that's it. You can name this what you'd like depending on your clientele, but once I've captured this information, again, if you want to create a marketing report, you can simply just select it, name your headline, and the client's first and last name will disappear. But for now, we're creating an individual presentation. Once I've identified that, I'm going to push through with this arrow, and it takes us to the next section here. As you can see now, it's only asking me 3 different questions, and there's no right or wrong answer that you can select from here. But I'm just simply going to select Forget My First Home. Once I've captured that field, I'm going to go ahead and push through to save it and go on to the next section. And as you can see, everyone, it's potentially just taking me through each section here, and this is the questions or the fields that we're going to capture. One of the things you're noticing here is that you have current rent and annual rent increase in red. Everything else is not. What this means is that we have to capture these 2 fields before we push forward and move on to their location. Now, if they're not currently renting, maybe they're living with relatives, just feel free to enter in just a standard option or payment and average in your local area. Once you've captured these fields, you're going to go ahead and move on, and you can use this depending on your county and just identify that. Once you've captured the increase, you can go ahead and push through and move on. Now, because this is a rent versus zone presentation, you're going to want to make sure you capture their tax benefit. If you're not sure what that is, it's simply based off their annual income. So let's just say our client makes an average of $50,000 a year. I simply enter it in with no commas or decimal points, hit enter. Again, I can bypass these questions if I'd like. I'm going to assume that I have already captured these fields, but I really want to know exactly which tax bracket they are currently listed in. What you would do then is select this, click on this Find Tax Bracket button. Tells you and identifies exactly which category they are listed in. In this case, I know that they are 25%. If your client also has any savings, you want to make sure that you capture that as well, including rate of return, as we know that that's low. So if I was you in this case, this is what I would potentially use, so that it does show my tax benefit and also will show me any savings that the client has in place. In this next section, as you can see, affordability has 2 different windows. This is the second window we're on. I'm going to go ahead and bypass these questions. I'm going to assume that I've already captured them. They're not featured in red, which means that I can skip it. What it does do is takes us to our product. So this is where the meat and potatoes is, and this is where we create what we're going to provide and present to our client. It's a 12 character field, as you can see, so what we're going to want to do is abbreviate as much as possible. Let's just assume that this offer now is $260,000. Okay. Now, if I have a template, this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply select my template, and it'll automatically populate the interest rate that you have in place and the down payment that you have structured. So, the first option we're thinking of is $260,000. No commas or decimal points. Hit Enter or Tab on your keypad, and it automatically populates the dollar amount. Now, as you can see, all the red options that I've captured are already filled in. Once I've done so, I can simply move on to the next section. Now, as you can see, because I've identified and captured my template initially in the previous screen, it's automatically filling in any fees that I had associated with that template. Now, for those that have not created templates, maybe you have fee templates already created, you simply just select this closing cost details button, takes you directly to that section. Now, the other thing is this: if for some reason you don't know how to create a cost fee template, feel free to go to this help option, and at that point you'll be able to search for how to create a fee template in this section here. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and bypass it and move forward. Now, what this does is you can capture the impounds that are going to be plugged into play for this client. Now, you have the option to enter in the dollar amount if need be, or you can use the standard option and enter it in manually, and it populates it for you. Same concept with mortgage insurance. You can feel free to use this option as well and toggle back and forth. But as you can see, at 80% loan to value, I don't necessarily need to add mortgage insurance. So now I've created my first product. What I'm going to do is I can choose to save this as a template, which will now mean that I have this template already saved, but we're going to add another product. The second product we're going to add, as you can see, takes us right back to the same section. I'm going to simply delete it and now enter my secondary offer. So let's just say my second offer is $280,000. Now remember, I'm using these as options. You can feel free to enter in any dollar amounts as far as offers. There's no right or wrong way. This is a presentation you're building for each client. Again, what you can do is once you've identified the product name, you're going to want to select this Copy From button. What this does is this allows me to be able to bring over the exact same product that I created initially so that it saves me time from having to recreate it. The only difference is I only need to change is just the purchase price, because I'm not looking to create a purchase price for $260,000. I want to show them what a $280,000 offer looks like. So in this case, the first thing I'm going to do is change my offer. Hit Tab or Enter, populates it. Now, I don't need to update the 20% because that's what I'm going to assume my client's going to put down, and also the rate is going to be standstill across the board because I'm really trying to show them what the potential offers look like according to this rate and this amount of down payment. As you can see, it's recaptured that same information because I've copied it over. And also, if I have any impounds and so forth, it's going to automatically capture that same information, so I do not have to recapture it and restructure it. Now, I can add up to 4 different scenarios if I'd like, but in this case, I'm only going to add one more. So, again, you can save as a template, but let's go ahead and add another product. Product number 3, I'm going to use my final offer, and let's just say it's going to be $295,000. Whoops. Okay. Offer, and there it is. You're going to select the Copy From option again, select the offer, one of the products. Again, I'm not changing any of the rates. I'm just simply going to go ahead and capture the dollar amount, hit Enter or Tab, and there it goes, it populates it. Now I have 2. Once I push forward, again, everything else is intact, and I no longer have to save as create an additional product. Now you have the option to, however, I'm satisfied with these three offers, and I'm going to go ahead and move on. I don't need to capture any other products whatsoever. Again, once we get to this analysis, the analysis section, this is where we make our fine last tuning options that we'd like to show. So for example, the tax benefit. You can show them rent versus principal paid, or rent versus benefit analysis. In this case, what we showed is we're going to show a tax benefit, which is going to be important for most of our clients. Number 2, you can choose to show them total principal paid over time here in this section as well. This is the long-term section. You can show them total net worth according to those offers, or you can show them how much interest they would pay with each one of those offers depending on the benchmark that you have set for the specific section. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose to show them total principal paid and built over time. For now, this is all you have to capture in this section. You have the option to select and change these benchmarks according to what your client like to see, but mostly on purchases, you may not have to worry about this. Now, if your appreciation value is different, like I know out here it's completely different in California, I could potentially set that as a benchmark there. So this way, it will take into account over the next, let's say, 60 months that you have already identified, or the next 15 years, depending on what you've captured as a benchmark. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and push through. Same concept. You can identify their address. And then once you've captured that information, you can simply push through again. Now, I'm going to show rent versus own. I'm not going to show a total cost analysis, which will just show the offers of these pending here. Now, if you're wanting to change that, there's a different format for this type of presentation, which we can help you with. But for now, you're going to go ahead and select rent versus own and keep it as is. Actual payment may differ from closing. This is a special note that you can add. This payment does not include Now, once you've captured that, you can go ahead and push through and just bypass these next few windows unless you'd like to capture and add additional content in these specific sections. You have the opportunity to. What it does is it takes us immediately to the end of the presentation where we can save as a PDF. We can email it, which is exactly what you're going to want to do. And in order to do that, you would now create and generate this link, which then creates this hyperlink here that you can copy, which is by highlighting. You're going to right-click, copy it, and now you can take your email, paste that link in the body of the message, send it out to your client, and now they'll be able to see this presentation. So for now, let's go ahead and close it, and let's preview it and show you exactly what it looks like. And again, here it is. So you have the opportunity to show your client, and that's how quickly it is to create this presentation. And again, it's to be able to show the benefit. You can then click on these options that you see highlighted in blue to show the benefit by highlighting it if you'd like. It's strictly optional, but it's completely up to you. Okay? Other than that, if you have any questions in creating these presentations, remember you have the help section in the edge which you can use to your advantage. And if not, you have support at mortgagecoach.com to assist you with anything moving forward. Hope this helped, and we'll talk to you later.